Welcome back to MCJ's Art Studio. Today we have another tutorial, and that is how to remove the streaks that have been left by using varnish. Now, last year in the summertime, I discovered that one of my paintings was left with some ugly streaks, and they were caused by varnish. I'm going to discover a couple of things during the usage of the solution, which is this Gamsol. It is a turpentine, it is a spirit. And I'm also going to discuss what it is that I've learned from this. Now, to use the Gamsol on the painting, I have a cotton cloth, lint free, pretty simple. You can buy it anywhere. I think I bought this one at Primark. I'm going to bust this thing in two. And as I am working the Gamsol into the painting to remove the streaks of the varnish, I'm going to talk about a number of things. Now, let's start at the point where things went wrong. Two things. First one, I discovered that I did not take enough time to let the painting fully cure. Now, I like to say cure, but it's basically just letting it dry. You have to have a considerable amount to let the oil paint dry. All right, so that's the first thing that went wrong. When you omit this step, when you just pass along this step, you're not allowing the oil paint to dry, and that can lead to the following problem. When varnishing your paint, and the main purpose of varnishing your paint is to preserve colors, is to protect it from dirt, dust, debris, and also light, so that it will remain vibrant and people can enjoy it for a long period of time. That is the main purpose of using varnish. When your oil painting is not dry and you use varnish over that, it will melt it. You will melt your oil painting away. I'm laughing now, but at that particular moment I was crying. Now, the way that I discovered it was after the usage of varnish. The painting was dry to the touch. I should have known better than to place my trust on the fact that the studio was warm and there was enough air conditioning present in the in the art studio for it to dry. Bad calculation. One of the most trustworthy variables that you can use by determining whether your painting is dry or not is just using a time period, and that is 4 to 6 weeks, preferably a little bit longer. Why? Like I already said, your oil paint has to cure. Now, this is the varnish that I've used. It's by Talents, and by no way am I saying that this particular varnish is wrong. All right, it's not wrong. It's a great brand. I've used it plenty of times for many years, and I will keep on using it even hereafter. Another mistake that I've made, and this is a mistake that I got to by doing some research, is the following. The components that you will find in spirits, in oil paints, in other types of mediums, and also in varnish are very relatable to each other. As a matter of fact, certain components are present in, if not all of the products that I've used, in most or all the products that I've used. So when you are working with varnish, you have to take into consideration that one, if your oil painting is not dry, it can melt your oil painting. And two, if you do not shake up that bottle before usage, it will leave behind streaks. Here's another element that I believe and a lot of people do not take into consideration, and that is temperature. Temperature has a huge effect on how your mediums, your art products will be usable. So that means your oil paint will melt, of course, during hot temperatures, but it will become very stiff during wintertime. Your varnishes will be very liquid during summertime, high temperatures, but a lot less liquid when it comes to wintertime. Even more so, the components will separate. So that will have to be a very important indicator for you to shake up that bottle. All right. I know for sure I did not shake up the bottle. I definitely did not. So those are three things that I've learned being mistakes. Now, the particular solvent that I've used, the Goblin solvent, it is a turpentine. Okay, it falls under the heading of a turpentine, a spirit that you can use to clean up surfaces, brushes. You can also use it to thin out your oils to make them fattier. If you have stiff oil paint, and you can make it more flexible. And of course, you can use it with other mediums. It has many purposes. The reason why this one is more refined is by the way that it has been produced. It's odorless, it has a better quality, and people like to work with this particular turpentine, this particular spirit, because the stronger one, the one that we all know, which stinks, people gag over it. It is harmful for your skin. It can produce gases, and it's just not really a fine product to work with, especially if you are an oil painter or painter and you're using it for quite some time in a closed space. It is not advisable to use those harsh chemicals. This is a good alternative to use for any of the usages that I've just mentioned. Art supply stores will most likely also have their own brands, so that is something that you can definitely use as well. Like you already know, I like to go to Van Beek Art Supply Store, and they have their own brand. I just have to say that this one is just finer in its structure. And maybe one of those days I'll do a comparison video so that you can see what it is that I'm talking about. But you can use the store brands. They are just as well to be used. Okay, and for your budget, to save some money, it can be a good option to take in. Now, here are some things that I wanted to look for when using this solvent, because like I already said, there are components in solvents, in oil paint, in mediums that are relatively present in all of them, meaning you will find them in more or all products. They are all interlinked with each other. The thing that I wanted to look for is it going to compromise the integrity of the painting? Now, it did not. The only way that it was kind of having an effect on my painting is because of the fact that I have to use it and I have to rub over the surface. So yes, some spots are very much visible, and you can see it also because you see yellow spots underneath the black, and that's because I first used yellow and then I went over it with black. That's what I did. So yes, but not to the sense that I'm like, oh my God, the painting is ruined. This is just some restorative work. It also goes for the background. Restorative work is no biggie. If you are busy with this for the coming 2 days, you let it rest. Your painting, brand new. Another thing that I very pleasantly was surprised by is the fact that it brought up the color, the vibrancy of the painting. A good feature to see. And I just wanted to go over it enough for me to have at least 50%, a 60% decrease in the streaks that I saw. So did it remove everything? No. Did it remove most of it? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so what is the takeaway from this? Is this a great way of removing streaks that have been caused by varnish? Absolutely. Please do keep in mind that for the right usage, you don't have to go this far. All right. This is just a solution for when you make that mistake. But if you make it, there is a solution for it. In my opinion, you're about to be, if the damage is really bad, you're about to get it to a 60%. In my case, the streaks were pretty bad. It was dull. And at the end of the video, it will be visible that you still see some streaks. But this is something that can be recovered by having a good varnish over it. It can be recovered by that. So I'm not worried about it at all. I have made a downloadable file for you about this particular tutorial. That means that you can download it as a PDF and save it on your tablet, on your desktop, or just print it out for yourself. I've summarized everything that I've talked about here, and it is basically like a notebook that you can have with you, which makes it very handy. The way that you can get to it is by going to my Patreon. Become a free member for free $99. I have resources, paid and free resources, and I will make this available to you so that you can download this. And you also will have the capability to use the paid resources for at least 7 days. It's like try before you buy. So if this is something that you would like to have in your arsenal, go over there, follow the link in my bio, and there you can be part of my Patreon. All right, be part of the Patreon and can get a downloadable file of what I've just discussed here. If you have any questions or comments about what I've just discussed, hey, put them here below in the comment section. Okay, so here is a last close-up of the end result. What you will see is that here and there, yes, there is some, surface area that needs to be restored. But hey, that's for me no biggie. I would have been crying my eyes out if it was just one big blob. You will see some yellow peeking through, but we can do that with a black glaze. That will be easy work to be done. And also when it comes to the surface, so the streaks, you will see still some slight dullness, but like I already said, it has definitely decreased by 50%. So it was worse, 50 to 60%. And I'm pretty content with that because the rest I can solve. It's just extra work, but hey, it is what it is. Sometimes we make mistakes, but there's always a solution. Thank you so much for watching and joining. Subscribe, like, and I will see you next time. Be blessed, y'all. Bye-bye.